Aloha, this is Barbara Arisa and Caroline Altum. This is an applied anthropology project, and going into this, we knew we wanted to study something within the hotel industry in Hawaii. We weren't quite sure at the beginning what our focus was going to be, but as we started our applied anthropology, we realized we wanted to focus on the many different approaches by Hawaiian hotels on how to incorporate Hawaiian culture and community involvement or approval. For this, we focused on good and bad examples from Turtle Bay Resort, Aulani, Envision Laie, and then how the new Courtyard Marriott could eventually learn from these examples. We decided to begin our research at Turtle Bay Resort. We went searching for Hawaiian culture or any issues we might see as anthropologists. One of the first things we saw were the trash cans that had the Hawaiian word for trash, which we found impressive. As we entered the lobby, we saw discreet decorations that implied simple Hawaiian culture, like turtles or Hawaiian flowers. Contemporary culture was implied by Surfer, the bar, where inside you could see all of the modern surfers and contemporary art. The rest of the lobby, though, was quite unimpressive. Our initial feeling was that this lobby could have been anywhere that has an ocean view. After seeing the trash cans in the parking lot, we were then searching for more Hawaiian language. One of the only things that did portray this was a television set that had local activities, community activities, and also had some language interpretations of Hawaiian language. As we continued to walk throughout the rest of the lobby, we were searching for a certain Hawaiian cultural feeling, and we weren't finding it. There were flowers, but there wasn't any Hawaiian music, no authentic Hawaiian artisan work, nothing that spoke to us of true Hawaii. Even the guest rooms didn't provide any Hawaiian culture quality. The fabrics, the paintings, nothing was authentic in the Hawaiian culture that was being represented. As we walked around the rest of the resort, we found that culture was not authentically incorporated into the rest of the resort design. As anthropologists, we saw things like the huts over the pool or on the beach, or the tiki torches to be signifiers to guests as Hawaiian culture, when in fact they are not. Tiki torches are Tahitian, not Hawaiian. The main feeling around the resort was not Hawaiian culture, but was relaxation and having a getaway experience. Another place of interest we found was the Sheraton Waikiki. We chose this because of its great reputation of a hotel in Hawaii, but as we went through and explored the hotel, we found that like Turtle Bay, there was a poor balance between Hawaiian culture and the hotel experience. Like Turtle Bay, when walking through the Sheraton Waikiki, there were elements that, like turtles, could be seen as Hawaiian culture, when really, as going through the resort, you found that there were no authentic Hawaiian experiences or artifacts, and it was proven that the Sheraton, their main goal was not to incorporate Hawaiian culture. One way we found the Sheraton was successful in incorporating Hawaiian culture was by starting what is called the Kai Market, which is a restaurant that incorporates local Hawaiian ingredients. This is an important aspect within the hotel industry in Hawaii because we want to involve the community and have community approval, and using these local ingredients involves farmers, which brings jobs, which helps the economy.
So after going back to Turtle Bay and finding out all these problems and the struggles they have with trying to accommodate the local culture and the community, we see all this controversy and the community feeling not part of the hotel industry. There are a lot of people who are against keeping the country or that are in pro or keeping the country. These communities trying to get together and to preserve the land and preserve their communities and trying to understand why the hotel industry is doing what they're doing. Keeping the country, it's not just preventing people from build, but also helping to the community to keep growing and to keep their cultural environment and keep their traditions and their way of life. By taking away the land, they're taking away their cultural value, not taking in consideration the value that represents for the people. There is a lack of understanding and the reverence between protesters who want to keep the country and the hotel industry who see the expansion as part of development, providing jobs and businesses. Not just jobs and businesses. The community is fighting back by having protests and giving pamphlets and bringing the knowledge to other people who are not very aware of what is the situation with keeping the country. People are not taking anything from their businesses, and they're both losing because there's no solution to this. Now, opening to a very good example and to very good dialogue between the business and the community is Aulani. This hotel from Disney has brought very good ideas of how portray the Hawaiian culture and how to bring tourists to a new understanding of what is really Hawaii. It's not perfect. They always have made us understand that their idea has to be improved, but they are very different to what we have seen from Cherrytown and from Turtle Bay. They've been trying very hard to understand the culture and to bring it to the world and to the tourists. They have beautiful paintings from local people. They've been working with the locals and understanding and knowing their stories and their tales and bringing all this together to a beautiful hotel where guests will not expect something that it's so fulfilling for the culture.
Here we see just one example of how Aulani has incorporated Hawaiian culture. These little monkey-like figures you see are called menehune, and they are surrounded within the resort. One of the best things about Aulani was that in the development stages, they actually had a team of about 70 people who were either local artisans or anthropologists or archaeologists who worked to create an environment with pure, authentic Hawaiian culture. The feeling when you walk around the resort is purely Hawaiian culture. This is one example. This is the bar that they have downstairs. When you walk in, you're very intrigued by all of the symbols that are around, and you actually see that lit up in the bar are Hawaiian words, and all of the employees who work at this bar actually speak native Hawaiian. We were very impressed by the way in which Aulani covered so many small details of incorporating culture, like this wall made of coconut shells. There were also many artworks throughout the resort that were made by local artisans. There was symbolism throughout the resort. Aulani also did a very good job of incorporating local contemporary culture, as we see in these pictures here by local photographers. Also, they incorporated Hawaiian history into their scenery, and here we see authentic Hawaiian torches, unlike Turtle Bay, who had tiki torches. Here we also see another painting done by a local artisan. This is of King Kamehameha. Unlike Turtle Bay, we were impressed when we saw the rooms of Aulani. When you walk in, there's a very good feeling that incorporates both a relaxing feeling that you are supposed to have from hotels, but you feel the culture when you enter the room. The actual fabrics, the designs, the prints, they are all actually Hawaiian prints. The quilt work is Hawaiian. The pictures are Hawaiian. You are actually having a Hawaiian room when you stay at Aulani, unlike Turtle Bay, where you go in and it could have been a room at any hotel. The decorations of Aulani impressed us, but what impressed us most was the way in which they created a very Hawaiian educational experience for the guests. One thing they emphasized to us was that they are a Disney resort, but that's not what they're searching for. They want the guests to come and be surprised by the Hawaiian experience that they can have. They do this by many ways. They have ukulele lessons, they have arts and crafts for Hawaiian culture, and they also have tours where they take you around the resort and show you the symbolism, show you the signs that are all a way to educate them in the best way possible. This is also a good way to involve the community and to have community approval, because when you are portraying a community's culture, that's something that they can love and appreciate and relate to. As we researched more, we found that Turtle Bay Resort was actually implementing a way to communicate with the community more and to incorporate Hawaiian culture. The plan for this is called Turtle Bay Sice. One of Turtle Bay Sice's main themes is Turtle Bay, Tomorrow's Ahupua'a. The environmental analysis of 840 acres of land. Turtle Bay is on 34 of those acres. Here they want to create a new master plan for the resort. They want to reduce expansion, incorporate more culture, and work with the community more. Here's their comprehensive plan. The goal has been to balance the interests of the community, the environment, and the investors. They do this by following the motto, Nana Imua, Nana I Ope, which means looking forward, looking back. Here you have the importance of land history and family land in Hawaiian culture. Some of the objectives is to create a place that's welcoming to locals and to visitors from far. They want to enhance the shoreline access for locals and to enhance and protect the environment with specific attention to those local areas. They also want to manage development, construction, and operations sensitive to the environment and respectful to Hawaiian hosts. They want to ensure long-term preservation of the agricultural lands and create a good relationship with the farmers. They will also have additional housing units that are affordable to local community and create critical development mass at the resort to ensure economic viability and cultural vitality of the resort. They also want to incorporate daily life of the community into the resort. Here are some of the statistics for the plans. They will have 469 acres of agricultural land, reduce previous plans by over 60%, making less units and more affordable homes. They will also have about 100 new acres for wildlife preservation and 160 affordable housing units. They will have 271% more of affordable homes and 42 acres of oceanfront trail systems. The site's team consisted of a primary contractor, subsurface testing archaeology team, cultural impact analysis archaeology team, and many other consultants. They will also address the issue of traffic calming solutions. The remodeling will also bring many positive economic impacts to the community, which will then again bring community satisfaction. Now hear from our friend Rob on the Turtle Bay Sites team at a public information meeting in December.
Tomorrow's Ahupua'a looks to the principles of the past to guide what we're doing moving forward. So we all know that the Hawaiian Islands and the Hawaiian people were probably some of the most sustainable living, practicing groups of people in the world. Their principles look for the balance of man and land. So tomorrow's Ahupua'a looks to take those principles and move them into a modern context to look for this proper balance between man and land. We believe that in the past, in the Ahupua'a principles, that it was a land management, it was a natural resource management structure, but it was also a social political structure and an economic one. So there needed to be the proper balance between all these components. When we hear Ahupua'a in today's environment, oftentimes it talks about the proper use of natural resources, which is an important factor. But a proper balance of man and land really exists between everything. So what we try to do here is instill what needs to occur from an economic perspective, balance the social wills of the community, and that with the master plan. And then look for proper land use as it applies to the historic uses of these lands. We know of the Ahupua'a that existed, so we're not making up stories. They had existed here for hundreds of years. And they really started to inform how we shaped the master plan, where we created densities, where we created open space, and where we were sensitive in our approach to the master plan.
Much success in this project came from working with Replay Resorts, whose goal is to create experience-driven destinations for people motivated by their desire to connect with undiscovered places and culture, and to incorporate locality, seeing the ways of a place through the eyes of the locals. The reason that Replay Resorts work so well is because they try to understand the problem, saying that Turtle Bay was being a host to sedentary guests wasn't giving the hotel, the owners, or the community the economic benefit they were seeking. They were becoming an extension of the host, surrounding the community, and far more effective way of establishing a destination with attractions. The steps taken is that they created a brand of the North Shore in surfing, authentic differences of the North Shore, allow locals to be part of Turtle Bay social fabric, centralized local spots for locals and visitors, and a hospitality standard based on Hawaiian traditions. This brought community acceptance, like the organization Keep the North Shore Country, who has been involved in the good faith negotiations with the state regarding conservation efforts for the underdeveloped resort lands. Next, we will see some quotes from the local community who has been involved with the Kuleana lands and who has been very accepting and approving of Turtle Bay's renovations. As anthropologists, we were very impressed by this Turtle Bay SICE program and its way to implement development and culture and business all in one, and we look forward to seeing the future projects developed.
We now paid attention to Envision Laie. Envision Laie is a place where a group of residents are together from Laie, Kahuku, Haula, and Ko'olua, Lao, and who are trying to see how is the development and how of this place and how they can keep the cultural environment and providing housing and also providing a better standard of living. While we were in the information center, we were taught that Laie is lacking of housing and it's losing their cultural value because it's so expensive to buy a house and to buy land that people from the outside is getting those territories and they're getting they're from the outside losing the value of the historical land and also not preserving that. What we saw is that many people are focusing in the bad part of Envision Laie, not knowing what really is about. They want to build housing for their own people and keeping the spirit of Laie and trying to keep the families who are already collapsing living all together and put them in houses who are affordable but at the same time with quality, bringing to Laie to a different standard and to a better place with opportunities for their people who have been there for generations. Envision Laie is making a value in their cultural existence and the cultural preservation that they're looking for. Now, BYU Hawaii is also part of this cultural envision. We might think that BYU Hawaii is just a place where the school is trying to create an environment for the students from all over the world to study, but BYU Hawaii is also a huge part of this cultural environment where it's been there for over 50 years. The school is now developing and is trying to grow and bringing more students, which is also gonna bring more people to Laie. Envision Laie is happy for this. They're looking forward and they're helping the school to make the people understand that this is a good thing, this is a good opportunity for the local people to find jobs, to stay here longer, to find a sustainable type of life and to be able to coexist with the school and their new development. Envision Laie is an example about how the local people is embracing the cultural value and trying to preserve it. Now, looking to Envision Laie and how they've been preserving their culture and their value, we saw how the new courtyard Marriott is gonna be affecting the people in Laie. According to Envision Laie, Marriott is gonna provide jobs. When we were looking around and asking people, many people were against Envision Laie because they really didn't understand sometimes what they were really doing. They're gonna take out some of the buildings, but they're gonna put them again and replace them in other places. Some of the people are not aware of this and they think that they're taking out Chevron and McDonald's. Their meetings who are trying to make people see their job, but people are not attending to those meetings. We perceive Envision Laie as part of a very good try and effort to bring Laie to a different status, to a different style of life, keeping the cultural the cultural environment together. Eric Weaver, president of Hawaii Reserve, said, "We anticipate the hotel will create hundreds of construction and ongoing operating jobs. Many of the operating jobs will be open to all community applicants and will include managerial, supervisory, and specialist positions. We remain positions will be used training those enrolled in BYU Hawaii Hospitality." The Courtyard is a hotel that is looking forward to a new kind of guest. It's gonna be mostly parents who are coming here to visit their students, or it's gonna be people who are going to the PCC. We understood that one of the reasons why Turtle Bay is having so much trouble with the community is because they are not keeping their relationship with the community in standards of their cultural value and their land. We see Marriott as not being interested in this particular issue. We also went back to Aulani and how they are trying very hard to keep in communication with the community and also with the cultural value of Hawaii. They're looking forward to represent Hawaii in an amazing way. We went and saw the rooms and how they portrayed their cultural value, and how we said before, their carpeting and their decorations are all invitating to this area. However, Marriott's gonna be a very small hotel. It's just gonna have 100 rooms, and it's gonna be right in the middle of Laie. We believe that this hotel should represent Laie in a more deep way, bringing local artisans, bringing a little bit more of the Laie style, not just Hawaii, but bringing a very cultural Laie life and trying to show this to the guests. Tourism is an important part of the economy of Hawaii. During our tours, to understand better how each hotel takes the culture of Hawaii, we found out that they have different approaches according to how well they understand the culture of Hawaii. In conclusion, we found that Envision Laie was a very good example of how people are gathering together to preserve their culture, and at the same time how the tourism industry is able to preserve those things. We learned that as having a good example and a bad example demonstrates that Envision Laie can work together with Marriott in Laie so they can approach their touristic focus in a different way. We see that when a business is able to preserve and to value the local culture, is able to have the support of their locals, like Aulani. Aulani is a very good example of how they preserve and how they take care of the culture. Then we saw Sheraton and Turtle Bay, and we saw how they were struggling with the people, how they had a lot of negativism and a lot of bad support from the locals. We would like to see the Courtyard Marriott Hotel to take this as a better approach to how they should do their business here in Hawaii. If they're able to conserve the culture and to portray the Laie environment in their hotel, we think they're gonna have better support, better understanding, and a welcoming in this community. We are very happy with our project, with what we discover and our new understanding of the Hawaiian culture. Mahalo!